there is an example that if nature, matter, if matter wants us to experience heat or cold, then it is able to make us experience that. Is it not? Yes, matter can drive you to switch on the fan, or matter can drive you to pull out the blanket. So, matter, you just think about, you see, it's just matter. It is not even conscient energy, but still matter doesn't forget its power. So matter is able to drive you into doing what it wants you to do. It is able to influence you the way it wants you to influence. But Baba says, we are the conquerors of matter. What is our title? Prakriti Pati. So we are the masters of matter, the conquerors of matter. And Baba says, can't you influence anyone or anything the way you want by the power of your good wishes? Yes, so Baba says that just like matter is able to influence everyone the way it wants, can't we influence the elements of nature and every soul around us the way we want to? But how do we do that? So the thing is, you see, there's this simple law. If somebody or something is not able to influence you, then you can influence it. But if you become influenced, then you cannot influence. Yes, so this is the most important rule, and what we have to do is, in the face of negative behavior, in the face of whatever kind of conduct that another soul is having, you have to hold on to your good wishes, and these good wishes will act like a it will act like a shield, and it will help you not get affected by their behavior. Yes, so do you have this much stock of good wishes that come what may, I'm going to have a positive influence on this soul, or I'm going to cooperate with this soul to do better, come what may. And this come what may is very important, because you see that, of course, in every relationship, every interaction, we start with good wishes. Yes, we are Brahmins, we start with good wishes. But what happens is, when you listen to the words of the person in front, or you see the behavior that they are engaging in, your good wishes take a back seat. And then there is this whole ego game which emerges, where you want to prove that you are wrong and I'm right. Yes, and I'll give you a very simple example. So, souls don't have integrity between thought, word and action. That's the sign of a disempowered soul. And you see that sometimes, so I will give you one example of a practical situation where there was this one sister, and she would always, she would always speak in a manner where she would highlight her qualities and your weakness. So, if she sees you cooking, then she would say that you are wasting resources and I am very economical. Or if you're doing something, then she would say that, we don't do it like this. I'm very proper in doing things. You people do it just like this. So, she has this tendency of putting down the other and making a big show about this is my quality or that is my quality. And you see, many people have that sanskar, right? Because I always tell in the class that the easiest method to lift your ego is put down the other. So, when you want to lift your ego, what do? You call out to the weakness or the deficiency of the other. So, even if it exists or that doesn't exist, whatever, you figure out, you find out one problem with the other, and that's how you inflate your ego. Now, it so happened that this sister would always keep doing these things, always speaking something which was very demeaning, or it would put down the other. And then the other sisters around, what happened was, they also started looking at, or trying to find out opportunities where they could call out the lack of integrity between her words and acts. So let's say one day she commented that, you people are wasting resources and I'm very economical. And the next day when she is doing something and there's a little wastage, then the other sisters would say, look how economical you are. So you see that this is how it happens. So, but the thing is, if somebody has lack of self-esteem and that person is trying to put you down, and you also get affected by their behavior, and you also start doing the same thing, then what will we eventually do as a group? We will be pulling each other down. Yes, if you look at the total result of this whole action is, everybody will pull everybody else down and collectively we will fall. Right? So, we have to understand that in every situation, you will be surrounded by souls who have very many sanskars. Maybe the sanskar of, putting you down or commenting at you, or, pointing out your mistakes, or doing something, or being lazy, but saying that you are lazy. So, there are many kinds of sanskars which souls will have. And generally, in this world, when we operate, we will be witnessing this thing very strongly and every day, that there is acute lack of integrity between thought, word and act. So, whatever somebody is saying is not what somebody is doing, or whatever somebody is saying is not who they are. But the thing is, if you also started looking at their weaknesses, and you also started making the same comments, then collectively we will only fall. So what you have to do is, when you see these things, you have to hold on to your purpose, that I have to cooperate with the soul to rise above themselves. I don't have to fall into the trap of their weak sanskars. And Baba says, don't listen to what they are saying. If you listen to what they are saying, what happens is, you start getting caught up in the tendency to answer to them, or the tendency to point out to them. But that's not going to help you. So, even if you pointed out 100 mistakes in them, that's not going to help either them or you. What you have to do is hold on to your good wishes and give them what Baba wants to give them. And what does Baba want to give everybody? Baba wants to give everybody self-esteem. Baba wants to give everybody love. Baba wants to give everybody strength, hope, faith. So just keep giving them that. And practically, being an embodiment of this requires effort, because it is because the inner emptiness will always tell you that you must get influenced by their behavior, their words, their actions. But Baba says, no, don't do that. Create this. Always remember, always pull up your good wishes. Always remind yourself that you are a benefactor soul. You want to help the other soul. You want to uplift the other soul. You don't want to prove whether you are right and they are wrong, or you don't want to play these ego games. It's not about this. This is not what you are here for. And then what you do is holding on to your good wishes and continuously giving whatever Baba is giving. You see, Baba gives us directions also. Baba gives us corrections also. There is no problem with giving directions or corrections to someone. But the most important thing is this ingredient of love, hope and faith. So even when Baba gives us directions or corrections, he doesn't hold in his heart that you're wrong and I'm correcting you. Yes, so Baba looks at us as this shiny, blissful, peaceful star, and then he gives us directions and corrections. So just like Baba is giving us everything, we also have to, with the same love, hope and faith, we have to, even if you want to give a direction, even if you want to give a correction, just do it with that love, faith and hope, and with that Atmik Drishti. And also clean your heart. There should be just good wishes and nothing else. And Baba says, if you do this, if this is the cooperation that Baba wants us to give, and Baba says, and whether it is with your mind, whether it is with your words, or when you come into connection and interaction, when you keep cooperating with every soul, then what will happen is you will also become the master bestower like the Father. And this is something that I have practically seen, and it is very important that you don't hear what they speak, you don't see what they are doing, you just hold on to your good wishes and just completely forget whatever is their behavior, whatever is their words. You just hold on to your good wishes and look at the other person like Baba is telling you to look at them. And don't allow their behavior to influence your drishti, your attitude, your thoughts, your words or your behavior. So this is being a cooperative soul. And when you do this, then you can cooperate with everybody, you can be in harmony with everybody. And this teaching is particularly important for Baba's children, because what I have understood in this journey as a BK is, when you want to do seva can, if you want the seva to expand, it can only happen when there are many hands. Yes, so big tasks, big seva cannot happen alone. So you cannot ensure that big seva happens just on your own, and you need hands, you need cooperative souls. And every soul, in order that they become an asset and not a liability, you need to hold this in your awareness, this teaching that Baba is giving you, because nobody is perfect these days. Everybody has some weaknesses, some strengths. But if you allow their weaknesses to enter your heart, then they will appear to be a liability to you. They will not appear to be an asset to you. And whether somebody is an asset or a liability depends on your drishti. And if you have good wishes in your heart, then you look at everybody as an asset. You know that, despite some weaknesses, every soul has the capacity to transform into an asset. And when you have this capacity, then you also can, carry out Baba's big tasks. And you look at the world also these days, and there are many examples of Baba's children who are very successful business people, or in their own area they are very successful. And of course they are all sevadharis and surrendered. So even that business is Baba's business. Yes, that is another story. But then you see that there are such souls who are running big business houses on these principles. And big organizations, heads of big organizations who are associated with Baba, and who know Baba, and who incorporate Baba's teachings into their work area. And when they do that, they also receive the same results. So, it is very successful, because anyway, spiritual laws are not confined to the Brahmin family or Baba's seva. They extend to every domain. So Baba says that even if you are living in a family, or you are into a business, or you are into an organization, just remember this one law, that with your good wishes, just don't look at the weakness of others or the behaviors of others, and keep nurturing them with your good wishes, and keep giving them but what Baba wants to give them. And slowly what they have, that old sanskar will be replaced by what Baba wants to give them. So this is an important teaching that Baba gives us. And then what I liked particularly in the Mulli today is Baba says that if you take a step of courage, then you will receive help. And Baba says that in everything you have to have courage. So, and what is a step of courage? So, Baba says that a step of courage is never say no to any Shrimat. Yes, what is a step of courage? Never, even in your mind, say that I can't do this. So, whatever Baba tells us to do, never say that I can't do this. Baba, and you see, Mama always said that the Almighty is giving me directions, and the Almighty is also giving me the power to bring those directions into action. And this is something that is a sign of courage. So Baba says that whenever you receive a direction, how do you receive a direction? Baba tells so many things in the Murli about being a yogi, about being pure, about being sevadhari, about being Baba's right hand. But just think about how many of Baba's directions do we outright reject in our intellect. Yes, there are so many of Baba's directions which you outright reject in your intellect, and you say that this is for Didi and this is for somebody who is in 30 years or who has been in Gyan for 30 years and 40 years, this is not for me, or I can't do this. And sometimes you don't even undergo the process of listening to it and rejecting it. You reject it outright. So, you're not even listening to those points in the Murli. But Baba says that I have come to make you a deity. I have come to make you a Vishwa Maharajan, Vishwa Maharani. And you are the one, you see, I as an individual, I am the one who is going to become that. But how will I become that? If I accept every direction that Baba gives me with courage. So if I say, Hanji, yes, this is for me and I can do it, then Baba will give all the help that you need to put that direction into execution, to carry out that Shrimat. And it is my very personal experience that any BK soul, whatever they are doing is not individually possible at all. Whatever BKs are doing is not individually possible. It is only possible with Baba. And the only thing that we are doing is having faith in Baba and taking that step of courage. And when you take that step of courage, then Baba is the one giving you all the help and making it possible through you. But if you don't take that one step and you just keep saying that, it's not possible for me, or I'm not this person, or I can't do it, then you are stopping yourself from receiving Baba's help to create your fortune. So this is something that is very important to understand. And Baba says that you must, when the child has courage, the father helps. And Baba today says that you can imbibe all virtues and you can become so capable that with your drishti, when you look at somebody, they will forget their body. They will just see themselves as a soul. But the thing is, do you even have the courage to say yes, that this seva is going to be done by me? Or do you reject it that, how can I give drishti and somebody forget their body? So Baba says, I am going to do everything through you, but you have to take that step of courage and say yes to everything. And in my personal, journey, I have always made it a point to never say no. So whenever Baba says that, do this, I say, okay, Baba, Ji Baba, okay, let this be done through me. So this is something that I have always maintained, and I know personally that I have done nothing. Baba has done everything, and Baba has made everything possible. But that one step of courage you have to show and you have to take. So this is something. And then today's Murli is primarily about patience. So Baba talks about having patience. And what is patience? So let me tell you one thing. Sometimes, people think that doing something patiently is about being slow. And when you're fast, you have to be impatient. Yes, so sometimes, people, they confuse between patience and speed. So you think that when you're slow, you are patient, and when you're fast, you are impatient. But that's not true. You can be very fast and very patient, because fast or slow is about the speed of the hand. It's the speed at which you're doing work. But patience is a quality of the soul. And when the soul is in a state of positivity and hope and faith, and there is no fear, no doubt, that is a state of patience. So in patience, there is no fear. In patience, there is always hope and faith that everything is going to turn out fine. And with that patience in your heart, when you do very fast work also, it will give very good results. But if you think that, there is doubt, there is fear, what will happen, this will not turn fine, I don't know how this is going to end up, then all these thoughts of negativity, they are what prove that you are impatient. And Baba says that I come and give you patience. And how do you receive patience from Baba? So Baba says, I tell you that your future is certain and you are going to be a deity come what may. So you're following Srimat and you are going to be a deity. So if you are following Srimat, nobody can stop you from being a deity. And whatever you do, even if, and when you're following Srimat, even if something apparently doesn't turn out right, it's going to turn out right. Even a scene which looks like this thing was not, this thing didn't turn fine, it is going to turn fine. So Baba says, for you everything is Kalyankari. And if you're following Srimat, have the patience that everything is for my benefit. Live life as if you know that everything is happening for me. And then you also know that eventually I'm going to be the deity. So in whatever scene you are, you give in your best, but you don't have this thought of worry or fear about what will be the outcome. Yes, and even if the outcome is not apparently a successful outcome, don't worry, because it will turn out fine. And I will tell you one thing, there was this one brother and he's a very good Baba's bacha and always on Srimat, and whenever he does something, he does it on Baba's direction. And then, there was this one property he wanted to buy. And then he told me that, Didi, I want to buy this property and I want to have a room for Baba's Seva also in it. And I just want to know whether I should buy this property or not. And he told me the details of the property. And I said, okay, it looks fine. Go ahead and buy it. And then, he did everything, and in the last moment he figured out that that property was not, the papers were not okay or something, and then that deal didn't go through. And then, he came and he said that, Didi, that deal didn't go through. So I said, okay, that's fine. So maybe that's for good. So he said, but it was a very good property and this and that. And you also said that, go ahead and buy, and now that deal didn't go through. So then is it not that, earlier you said that it is going to happen, and then now you say that it didn't go through and that's the good thing. So I said, no, but this is how it is, and you just stay absolutely nishchint and everything is fine. And then, 2 months later, he got another property at the same price, but which was 2 times bigger than that. So you see that Baba says that when you take Srimat and do something, even if it doesn't work out, don't think that, next time I won't take Srimat. Yes, so Baba says that even if it doesn't work out fine, it is for your benefit. And Baba says, don't start, following your own manmat because something didn't work out on Srimat. And because that brother didn't lose his faith and didn't lose that, he understood that this didn't work out, but it is for the good. That is why next time it worked out better. So Baba says that when you are on Srimat, don't get caught up in these limited things that, this should work out or that should work out, because sometimes it is very good that some things don't work out. And have that patience that, at the end everything is going to be in my favor. So move with patience. And Baba says that never become afraid, never become afraid of challenges, and keep Brahma Baba's model in front of you. And Baba gives the example of children. And sometimes these days, parents are literally crying because they think that, children are putting them into a lot of trouble. And yesterday there was this one Mata, and she kept crying and crying and crying and saying that my son is causing a lot of trouble, Didi. I can't even tell you all that he's doing. And she just kept crying, and she said, I'm having panic attacks and I'm having a very bad state. So Baba says that don't get afraid in Grihast. So, even if, so Baba says that even if you have 10, 12 children, so these days nobody has 10, 12 children, 1 or 2 are equal to 20. But Baba says that even if you have 10, 12 children, just think about how many children Brahma Baba has. And do you understand how Brahma Baba took care of all his children? And just think about how, and don't think that everybody who wears a white sari is very well behaved inside. So you see that Baba's children who live in the center also, they are variety. And they are, some are doing, Baba's children who live in Grihast and Baba's children who live in the center, they all have their own sanskars. And Baba takes care of all of these children. And Baba says, some are good, some are difficult, some do service, some do disservice, everything they do. But I also take care of all my children. And how does Baba take care of all his children? So Baba never loses faith in anyone. Baba never loses hope in anyone. Baba doesn't give up on anyone. And this is the only way to make something better. So you see that even if something is very spoiled right now, if you give up hope and faith in it, then that means that you ended their journey of getting better. But Baba says, I keep nurturing every child with hope and faith, and sooner or later they get better. But I will tell you one thing here. Sometimes, we listen to Gyan, but we don't understand Gyan. So why I'm saying this is, so I told you about this Mata, and she was very disturbed about his son. And she told me that my son is, into wrong ways and this and that. But you know what? All the money which he is using to do wrong things is being given by the parents. So it's not that, having love, hope and faith doesn't mean keep funding wrong activities, or just shrouding your attachment behind these teachings that Baba says have love, faith. Baba doesn't say have love, faith and give 10,000 to your son. No. Baba doesn't say that. So Baba is telling us to have love, hope and faith. But sometimes, when we live in Grihast, we are not able to see that the funding or the resources which the children are misusing, or why they are getting spoiled, the reason lies in the parents' doings. So that has to stop, and the parent has to be completely on Shrimat. None of your thoughts, words, time, wealth should go into any negative activity, any wasteful activity. If that is happening, then that love, hope and faith that you are having for your child is not on Shrimat, it is because of attachment. So first thing that Baba teaches us is don't be attached. If you're attached, then your buddhi is not working well, and the decisions you are taking are very counterproductive. So Baba says that even if you have 10, 12 children, no problem, but you follow complete Shrimat. You don't allow any money, any time, any resource of yours to go into wasteful activity. And Baba says also keep nurturing your children with love, hope and faith and knowledge and spiritual food and everything, and it will give good results eventually. So this is also something to be understood. Don't confuse attachment with love, because many a times, Maya tricks us like this and we confuse the two, and we continue being attached while saying that we are being loveful. And when you are not on Shrimat, when your resources are being squandered, that is attachment, that is not Shrimat. Okay, Om Shanti.